Hello, 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 and welcome to the Soulful Summer Reading Camp. Here at the Soulful Beginnings Academy, you are receiving this message because you have decided to take the extra step to put your child into the Soulful Summer Reading Camp, or you may have questions about what we're offering this summer. So, here I am to tell you some of the things that we will be doing this summer with grades 4K, 5K, first grade, second grade, third grade, fourth grade, and fifth grade. All right, so for those of you who don't know who I am, my name is Alanda Posey, and I am the owner of the Soulful Beginnings Academy. And I just want to say thank you for your interest in supporting the learning of your young scholar this summer. And the best part of this is that you're starting very, very early. If you're on the early end, if you're in 4K, 5K, first grade, if you're on that early end of learning, thank you so much for taking the time to think about their academic performance and pushing them to academic excellence. I am in year or just completed year 14 of teaching. I started in 2009 and I have taught kindergarten, first grade, and second grade. However, since opening my company in 2010, I have had the privilege to tutor students as young as age 3 all the way to the 8th grade. So your child is in good hands, and I promise to take good care of them. I am certified as an early childhood educator and as a reading specialist. So I'm going to jump right into the course schedule for each camp so that you can help make your decision around whether you want to put your child into this learning space or not. For pre-K and kindergarten, this is our very first camp. Is for our early learners. We're accepting students ages 3 all the way to 6 or 7. It just depends on what your child needs in that moment. What I do understand, parents, is that we are still on the recovery from the 2 years of COVID where you may have chosen for your child to be virtual, or if they are a 5-year-old, right, and they're getting ready to go into kindergarten, their very early years, those toddler years, the three-year-old years, may have been spent at home. So that type of learning could have consisted of a variety of things, whereas some people chose to put their children into a daycare setting um, or a private school setting. So we wanted to make this option available to help your child learn the letters, learn the sounds, and be ready for kindergarten. So this is like the precursor for pre-K or for kindergarten, whichever your child needs. So taking a moment to think through the schedule, each camp is offering 6 sessions. This is probably the best deal that you will get here at the Soulful Beginnings Academy. Each session will last for 2 hours. Anyone who has used me before as a tutor knows that most of my sessions range between 45 to 60 minutes. So the opportunity that your child will get to receive 2 hours in a group setting is very, very valuable. So, what I am doing a little bit differently this year is trying to offer 2 times for groups to meet just to accommodate all parents and their work schedules. Primarily, right now, for the kindergarten setting, we have the 2:30 to 4:30 slot. However, I am offering 5:30 to 7:30 for any parent who wants that time slot. Also, I need to let you know that you don't have to attend all sessions. Excuse me. You don't have to attend all 6 sessions. If your child is not available, you can pay per session. So that option is there. You don't necessarily have to pay in full, but they won't get everything, right? So they'll get what they get on the day that they attend and nothing more from the days that they missed. As I have said on all of my social media channels, this is our most popular camp, the pre-K, the kindergarten camp. It gets everyone their early start. Up here in the left-hand corner, that was my very first camp, where they have on the red shirts. This was back in 2015. Um, and they started their letter journey, learning the letters, learning the sounds. And you can just see a variety of children in these pictures. And you'll also see where there's a progression for some of these children who have been with me since kindergarten, just to show you the value that your child will be receiving if you choose to put them with the Soulful Beginnings Academy. Now, moving on, you'll see a little bit of a overlap, right? Let's go back just a second. The pre-K and kindergarten schedule will overlap with the first grade, second grade schedule, looking at June 13th, 14th, 15th, and the 16th, understanding that the 16th is on a Friday. So we would have to have the early slot on that one. The library tends to close earlier on Friday, so we would need to meet at 3 o'clock on Friday. And then you'll also see a little bit of overlap with the third grade schedule that I'm getting ready to show you in just a minute. Understanding that all of these sessions are 2 hours and they are face to face. Okay. So there will not be a virtual option. I don't really have the capacity to do that at this moment. Um, so I'll share with you where we will be meeting. This also is a flashback in time. These girls all attended my camp in 2016. And just to let you know, all of them right now are high schoolers. So that girl group that you see right there, they just completed their 9th grade year of high school. Oh my gosh. The one in the right-hand corner is from this past summer. We combined second and third graders together. All of these camps have been second and third grade. Um, and the difference between the first and second grade camp versus um, the pre-K camp is that you're looking at an extension of reading skills. So this one would not be for remediation. This would be for enrichment to push them forward. Okay. So where are we meeting? I typically use the libraries here in Greenville and the kindergarten camp. I know for sure I want to go back to the Hughes Main Library in downtown Greenville. Um, for that Friday session, though, for the first and second grade one, I do believe that I will be using the Augusta Road branch. That's kind of near the south side area of Greenville. So if you're familiar with Our Lady of the Rosary, that may be a landmark for you. If you're from District 25, then you're looking at Terrace Shopping Center. It's right across the street from Terrace Shopping Center. So those are the two meeting places for pre-K, kindergarten, first grade, second grade, and we're moving on. Now, third grade will be a combination of reading and math, 3 days of reading, 3 days of math. You still get 6 sessions. And here's what we're looking at here, kind of a little change in the schedule, just a little bit from what I sent out earlier. So for third grade, you'll have June 27th, 28th, 29th, and the 30th. I'm putting that there just to see how many parents can meet on that particular day. You're not going to get 7 sessions. I promise you that you'll only get 6. And then if that doesn't kind of pan out, then we'll just use July 3rd, 5th, and 6th. Here's what we do need to understand is the 26th and the 27th, I'm sorry, will overlap just a little bit with this meeting date. So for that one, just depends on how the first and second grade one pans out. Our very first day may need to be only 5:30 to 7:30. Okay. And then every other day we can kind of flex it a little bit just depending on what parents need and how they want to go about this. But again, I wanted to give two options to accommodate all parents. And here are some of my friends who participated in the the second grade camp, third grade camp from last year, looking at a combination of pushing them in the area of multiplication and division. This was completely a third grade camp, and we looked at breaking down those big words. That's our biggest issue once we get to third grade. We understand the different combinations in terms of how word patterns are made, but then we don't know how to put those pieces together to chunk it in a way to break down the big words. So they will get the basics of multiplication, they will get the basics of division. However, I do plan to take it beyond the facts to 12, right? So we'll go beyond that just a little bit so that they can have some exposure to some two-digit things um, and some different strategies. The vocabulary piece is key. What I will say to you is that if you pay for this one in full, then they will get a vocabulary journal, a math journal with this piece so that they can begin to learn what is necessary. Understanding that in third grade, the state test is a requirement. And so I pride myself on helping our families be prepared for that. I would like to share with you the same thing that I shared with my daughter, our first daughter who experienced third grade. It is no joke. Um, and the rigor gets a little bit harder. And I want our children to have the tools and what they need to be equipped to finish strong on that test and to finish at a high level. So it's not just enough to complete it, but we want to be proficient and we want to be exemplary. The meeting space for this camp will be the Augusta Road branch and also the Malden branch. Okay, so it just depends on um, who says yes, where we are positioned, and how we'll go about that. I know last year this camp was held in Malden. So just trying to help accommodate for everyone. And last but not least, this is our fourth grade course. This is our transition course to help anyone who is going to the fourth grade or who may have struggled in the fourth grade and they need some more intervention before they get to fifth grade. So that is what the purpose of this camp is. I know by the time children get in fifth grade, camp is really not a thing for them anymore. But this space is to provide academic help, okay? Academic feedback, academic support. That is what we are here to do this summer at the Soulful Beginnings Academy. Now, this camp has no date conflicts, specifically all in July. So you can see that for yourself. July 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th, 17th, and the 18th. Again, there are two options available for you 3 o'clock to 5 o'clock or 5:30 to 7:30. Um, I do know that I will be facilitating summer school at my own school during this particular time. So that is why it can't be earlier than that. But that is what is available to parents who want to be in the fourth grade camp. Again, here are our meeting spaces for that camp as well. So, our overall goal, I started my company in 2010 to help young Black children learn how to read earlier and to learn how to read more efficiently. So, our goal is to promote literacy and increase the reading abilities of all children in every area. It is the goal to help them understand what it is like to respond as a mathematician, a historian, and a scientist. And we want them to be able to develop these skills so that when it's their time to lead, they know how to articulate and make informed decisions in the 21st century. So, for my early learners, for the parents who have the early readers, here's what you need to know. These are the 7 ways, not just seven, but these are 7 ways to know that your child is ready to read. So you bring books around them. They're interested in picking up those books. They have a book that they want to read over and over and over again. And I know that it becomes annoying for us, but repetition, just like exposure, is very key for our children to have and develop a love for reading. So they begin to understand that this book has a front cover and this book has a back cover, and you can talk to them about what the title is and what that means. They know how to recognize their letters. They understand that the letter has a sound, and then you can begin to play little games with them in terms of developing rhyming words. So then they begin to understand that I can manipulate those sounds together to make a word. They know the difference between a letter, a word, and a sentence. And you can test them yourself, right? You can write out a sentence on a piece of paper, and you can ask them to point to a word. You can ask them to point to a letter. And then you can ask them how many words do they see in this particular sentence. Thinking through blending onsets. So you have a beginning sound. Let's say that you have a 3-letter word, right? Let's go with M-A-T, right? So that word spells mat. If you were to separate the M just a little bit, you would say at. And if they can determine what that word is based on the sounds that you say, I promise you that your child is ready to read. Most importantly, they can hold the concept of the text. They can remember what happened in that text, and they can retell a simple story. So these are some of the ways, I'll give you 7, that you know that your child is ready to read. If they cannot engage with a book in any of these ways, then I promise you that you need to put them in the Soulful Beginnings Camp this summer so that they can begin to understand the concept of a book, how it works, what the letters do, how the sounds work together, and how can we blend those sounds together to make words. So, if you're new to me, then you may not know that I created my own alphabet called the Soulful Alphabet. It will be used in the majority of the camps. I can promise you, pre-K to second grade, your child will see the Soulful Alphabet. It is a culturally relevant experience that allows children to practice learning the letters of the alphabet, but they're also able to see a reflection of themselves, of the soulful culture that we have produced from music, dances, hairstyles, and iconic figures throughout the alphabet. So our very first letter is A is for Afro, and it goes on from there. And I promise you that is something that your child will not forget. We're going to teach them the letters and the sounds. We want them to understand that letters and sounds, they work together to make these words, and that the sounds can be blended together. That's what they need to know in order to be a reader in kindergarten, right? So blending those sounds, for those of you who have signed your child up for the first and second grade camp, they will get these blending cards similar to what you see right here in this yellow space. And so they'll need to understand how to take these sounds one by one, and it's connected to the soulful alphabet, and blend them together. You can see my friend here, Ellis. He is at one of our summer camps back in 2019, and he's taking his letter cards and he's putting them together and working through the sound. So understanding that the word has a beginning sound, a middle sound, and an ending sound is very, very important. And that helps us determine what the word is. This is called phonological awareness. So again, you'll see us building our short vowels words, those CVC words, what I just showed you, MAT, and putting them together to make a whole word, putting those sounds together to make a whole word. I have my friend Avery here, and I have Miss Ava. So they have been with me for a while, and they are very, very, very great readers. All right. Rhyming words is one of the hardest skills for any pre-reader, and it even transitions into first and second grade. Just determining, does these or do these two words rhyme, right? So we have this space. If you have a 3-year-old, 4-year-old, 5-year-old, where you want to just play a rhyming game, right? Just get them to see, hey, do these two sounds rhyme? By the time they get in first grade and second grade, they should be able to recognize the rhyme. And also in those grade levels, be able to make a word that rhymes with another word, right? So all these things are early learning skills. And if they don't have it by the time they're in third grade, they will struggle significantly. Okay. So rhyming words will be a piece that they will be taught in the Soulful Summer Camp. Now, as we transition first grade, second grade, third grade, you're learning these different word patterns, and long vowels will be our focus. So, in those grade levels, long vowels will be our focus. You'll be thinking about or seeing magic E. So, we have that E on the end of the word, and it is a silent E, but it makes the other vowel at the beginning of the word say its name. So, when we see the letter A in the word cape, we don't pronounce it as cap, right? We don't say ah, we say a, and it makes it say its name. Okay. So they'll take this journey down long vowel lane during the course to start their exposure for first grade. That's very key in first grade. By second grade, you should have it nailed down because then they'll experience some irregular spellings. A will look like A-I, A-Y, E-I-G-H. That spells the A sound. So it looks a little different in second grade. And then those words become way, way, way more complex once they get to third grade. Now, within this particular camp, your child will be exposed to at least, I would say, 15 to 20 sight words that will be significantly taught or specifically taught to them during the course of the camp. I know that we'll at least do 2 sight words where I'm explicitly teaching it to them, and then they'll see sight words as we read together. Now, this is for my third and fourth grade parents, third, fourth, and fifth grade parents, actually. You'll see this term, or you may see this term as you experience literacy or literary homework assignments in your child's academic career as they get into the intermediate grades. The way you pronounce this word is multisyllabic. That just simply means that the word has more than one syllable. And so we'll take them on a journey into the different syllable types. You can see some of them right here in terms of these different patterns. The ones that your children will be most familiar with are the vowel with the silent E and the R controlled, right? It will take them some understanding to get these other ones and have the understanding of what the rules are and why words work the way they do. For example, whoops, for example, with rabbit, we have to have an understanding that I can split it right there where the two consonants are. And then that helps me to break down that word and then put it together to make one sound. Okay. Throughout this process for third, fourth, and fifth grade, even to a little bit of first and second, we will be exploring grammar and understanding the structure and rules of how our language is written, thinking through nouns, adjectives, verbs, and pronouns. Now, my earliest readers will work on sentence formation and understanding how we read from left to right, that a sentence is made from a group of words. They'll put words together to make a sentence. They'll create their own book. They have to have this understanding of what a subject is and making that subject take action or make a statement. So all of these pieces will be in the early learning stages of our camp, as well as tracking print. So that is a common thing that beginning readers need. They need to touch each word as they read, and as they progress, their eyes can do the tracking for them and they will no longer need their finger. Comprehension will be throughout, right? So we have to be able to answer these questions. We call them the 5 W's and 1 H. who, what, when, where, why, plus how, be able to retell a story in their own words, and be able to ask questions. We have to get them to infer, we have to get them to think a little bit deeper about these characters that they're reading, or even the information if it is an informational text. Now, for the third, fourth, and fifth graders, again, they need to know that sentences are read from left to right. This is understanding how to create a paragraph. Um, they need to be able to determine whether this particular text is narrative, persuasive, or informative. Be able to build a paragraph, understanding that they must have a topic sentence, that is, telling a story or making a statement, providing an argument, or giving information. And then you put all your supporting details, your ideas, and then a concluding sentence. So they will work on creating a paragraph or two. Now, for the third grade camp and the fourth grade camp, they will be exposed to some math. Again, I'll repeat it, the basic strategies for multiplication and division, but they'll also understand how fractions work and making equivalents. That is such a tough skill for third grade, as well as thinking through elapsed time. So, how much time has passed, determining the start time and the end time, all of those pieces matter once they get in third and fourth grade. Now, people are asking, well, what does my child need? Your child needs absolutely nothing unless you want to create their own little box of tools with regards to pencils, crayons, and things of that nature. But all of those things will be provided for them. If you paid in full, then you will get all the extra bonuses that come with that, from the alphabet kit, the Soulful alphabet cards, making words mat, the blending cards. Um, Again, the fraction resources, you'll get to choose between either multiplication flashcards or division flashcards, whichever one you want to work on with your child, that's what you'll get. It is your responsibility, parents, to bring your child to the library on the assigned days. If we have a folder for each session, just bring that folder so they're able to easily transport their items back and forth. And then I challenge you to go through the things that we learn at camp and then practice them at home if you're able to. And most importantly, just encourage them to participate in camp, to show up, to read, to do all the things that we do at the Soulful Beginnings Academy. Now, here are some other offerings that we have. If you're interested, you can just let me know, and I'll have those readily available for you on the day that your child attends camp. So I have sight work journals from pre-K all the way to fourth grade, the Soulful Alphabet coloring book. So once you see the cards can match a coloring book that we have so that you can practice on forming the letters um, and all the things, and then coloring that particular picture that matches the alphabet. We also have a book collection. I am a whole author in these streets, and I have written 9 books from the Soulful alphabet. So each letter eventually, whenever I get done and have the time, will have its own book. Each letter of the alphabet will have its own book. Here's what I've produced so far. A is for Afro, C is for comedian, D is for dashiki, F is for fade, K is for kinship, M is for moonwalk, G is for gospel, H is for hip hop, and U is for urban. This is the Soulful alphabet, and I can assure you that your child will thoroughly enjoy these texts. But most importantly, friends, most importantly, I promise you that you will want your child in this room. I can't express it to you anymore. What we offer is the jump start that your child needs for the next grade, whether they are a struggling student or whether they are a student who is way above. I promise you, once I see them, once I get to meet them on that first day, I will challenge their mind to think higher, and they will come out of camp ready for the next grade. And and there will be an experience that will happen later on in the year where you'll say, oh, well, you did learn that this summer, right? They've already been exposed to it. And that's what I know, that our community, that's the place where our community misses the mark. right? I'm not going to get into a major soapbox here, but what I will say is that in some way, we have lost our way in the world of education, and it doesn't really matter as much to our parents as it should. And so I wanted to provide this safe space for parents and for their children to learn the material because I'm already inside of the system, right? So I work at a school, I know what they need to know by what age. And so I want to provide that space for you to have the tools, for you to have the resources that your child needs before they actually even experience it in the classroom. That is the sole purpose of why I do my summer camps, so that I can see, okay, hey mom, hey dad, hey auntie, hey grandma, this is what you need to focus on for the next 30 days, right? This is where your child is struggling. This is what they're going to see, and the testimonies just come back over and over and over again about how what they learned in the Soulful Beginnings Academy impacted them in the classroom. So I can almost guarantee you that you want your child in this camp, because what we have to offer, they will see again. Okay. And so that concludes my parent meeting for the Soulful Summer Camps that we will have here in 2023. I look forward to seeing your child's name in the registration. For those of you who have already said yes, and you've either paid in full or you're paying for the amount of sessions that your child can attend, I say thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. You will be receiving more information this week so that I can pinpoint kind of where your child is on the learning continuum for that particular grade level, and so that we can begin to make these plans and have the resources available for your child beginning June 6th. I'm so excited about this. Um, I'm taking this time today just to share this information with you. If you have any more questions after watching this video, please feel free to send me an email, text, or call. My phone number is 864-238-5679. Email address is soulfulbeginningsllc@gmail.com. And I hope to see your child in the Soulful classroom. Whoop, whoop.